Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 Filipino show in the Midwest. I'm Gurley Pascual. Welcome to our show. Today we have all the top stories from the Philippines. We also have what's happening in our own Filipino American community of Chicago. We have interesting interviews led by our very own executive producer, Miss Veronica Leighton. We have Brigitte, Cueter, Carino. All these are coming up and more afterward from our sponsors. Please stay with us.
With power still out in Antique, many residents are opting to sleep outside their homes to seek relief from the oppressive heat. Sleeping on the seawall was also an option for some residents to enjoy the cool breeze. It's the same situation in Iloilo City, where residents try to look for comfortable sleeping arrangements. Some are even forced to spend the night in their car, with the aircon on full blast. Hotels in Iloilo City are fully booked, since these are some of the few establishments that have generator sets. For others, Haro Plaza is a good place as any. The city has had no power for 3 straight days, and it's not only residents enduring the situation. Businesses are also reeling. Many say they are suffering huge losses. Only stores selling generator sets are the exception.
We sold more than hundreds of gensets yesterday, mga ganun. So, because talaga ang pila, we do it overtime, and even outside office hours, we continue operating to be able to serve.
The National Grid Corporation expects power to be completely restored in Western Visayas by Friday. But the NGCP was quick to point out it will still depend on the power plants if they can deliver enough supply.
Nakasalalay din ho kami sa mga power plants para dun sa supply na i-deliver at yung voltaheng tutulak ng supply na yan.
Alabanza adds, load restoration will be done gradually to prevent power plants from going offline. Meanwhile, officials of Iloilo City, Iloilo Province, Aklan, Antique, and Bacolod City met with representatives of the Department of Energy, NGCP, and Energy Regulatory Commission to discuss the region-wide blackout. Iloilo Mayor Jerry Triana says his city is losing up to 500 million pesos per day because of the power interruptions. According to the Energy Department, around 400 megawatts is needed to restore stable power in the island. So far, Triana says they have lost more than 1 billion pesos. The ERC, for its part, says it is probing whether the multiple trippings of Panay's grid Tuesday was caused by an internal issue or a grid problem. It adds, communication between the NGCP and the power plants is crucial to prevent such outages in the area from happening again.
Ang Panay po kasi is a very precarious po talaga yung sitwasyon po ng grid dyan. So siguro po baka hindi normal yung tamang term, or wag po siguro tayong kampante kung normal. Kung alam natin na very vulnerable yung grid. Yeah. So may measures po bang ginawa ang NGCP? Communication, for example, with the plants or with the utilities para po sana nakapaghanda yung mga susunod kung meron mang contingency na mangyayari.
The NGCP, however, says the situation is out of its control, but assures the public it is doing its part to solve the problem. Meanwhile, lawmakers want to investigate the power outages in Western Visayas. Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri urged the grid operator to address the issue. Both Senator Raffy Tulfo, chairman of the Senate Energy Committee, and Senator Sherwin Gatchalian say they will file a resolution to investigate the matter, citing economic losses from the disruptions. Meanwhile, Congresswoman Franz Castro believes that national grid operators should be held accountable for the blackout in Panay, as well as in some parts of Negros Islands. The Department of Energy says it is ready to appear before any congressional inquiry.
And the New Year slump continues. Stock markets in Asia still risk off with the regional benchmark down for a third day, as minutes from the Federal Reserve's December meeting indicate rates will stay elevated for some time, with cuts emerging before the year is out. Japan also back online from the holidays and reeling from the New York quake and Haneda airport tragedy. The Topics Index reversing earlier losses. Here at home, Philippine shares outperform peers ahead of key inflation data that's expected to show a very small move from November's 4.1%. The index back above 6,600.
We have really been coming out from a 3-year famine in the stock market, and I think now we're entering a feast, complete with lechon and everything. There are plenty of reasons to be bullish this year, but that being said, it's not time for investors to be careless. There are still risks ahead. This is the year that we see a positive return for the index. My personal target for 2024 is about 6,900 conservatively, going as high as 7,100.
In corporate stories, amid challenges in the energy space, Aboitiz Power President and CEO Emmanuel Rubio expressed confidence in the company's prospects for 2024, citing the development of new generation capacities, higher plant availability, and expectations for coal prices to decline. Aboitiz Power is launching this year the 17-megawatt Tiwi binary geothermal power plant in Albay and the 159-megawatt peak Lawag solar project in Pangasinan, while several other projects are set to come online by end of this year or early 2025, including the 206-megawatt wind project in San Isidro, Northern Samar, in partnership with Avena Energy and Vivant Energy, and the 173-megawatt peak solar power project in Calatrava, Negros Occidental. While it expects to break ground on new renewable energy projects, the 212-megawatt peak solar plant in Olongapo, Zambales, the 50-megawatt Camarines Sur wind project, and the 102-megawatt Rizal Laguna wind project, also in partnership with Avena Energy. For context, consumption is projected to increase by nearly 7% this year, requiring 600 to 700 megawatts of new or freed electricity stock. And finally, the Gaisano-led Metro Retail Stores Group breaks ground on its supermarket venture in Dalaguete, Cebu, as it strengthens its presence in the Visayas. Mrs. G currently operates 64 stores across Visayas and Luzon.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
Do you need to get your hands on some extra money right now? Maybe $25,000 or more? If you're a homeowner, now is a perfect time to get cash out. While homes in many neighborhoods like yours have gone up in value, you can use the money for anything. It's yours. You can buy an investment property, pay for college, pay off higher interest debt, or make home improvements. A cash out refinance is the perfect solution to get the cash you need. If you need $25,000, $50,000, or even $100,000, now's the time. Home values are up, and so is your equity. We offer you a way to use it. No need to sell your home or use your savings. Call New American Funding now and speak to a cash out refi specialist and see how much cash out you can get.
Call New American Funding at 855-332-3929. That's 855-332-3929. Call 855-332-3929.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 901-245-4874. That's 901-245-4874. 901-245-4874. That's 901-245-4874.
ViaTimes, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. ViaTimes for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. ViaTime has very interesting columnists. You name it, ViaTimes has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call ViaTimes at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of this show. Today, I have a very interesting, very familiar face this time in our show because she used to be a part of our family on Cprtv. And her name is Miss Jenny Guzon Bae. She's a Bae now, and the last time you saw her, she was just a Guzon. Anyway, welcome to our show, Jenny.
Thank you.
Here because you have accomplished really good things in life at that young age.
I'll take that. It's not so young, but I'll take it.
Jenny is a yoga instructor right now, or the teacher, and she is a book author about yoga. And let's hear from Jenny about the book. And the title of the book, Jenny, is what?
It's called the Yoga Within You, Living Beyond the Mat.
All right. Can you can you please tell our viewing audience about this yoga book?
Yeah, surely. I have just a sample here. It's available on hardback on Amazon, but this is just a sample of what a paperback will be, and that's coming out in a few weeks also too. But basically this book is short snippets that I've written on how to apply yoga wisdom and philosophy to everyday living. For example, if I open up a page, this one is called Speaking to Ourselves. So really, our own self-talk. And a lot of times we're very self-critical. So really, it's just a short, brief thing about how you can apply this wisdom in yoga and how to speak better to yourself in that particular topic. But there are multiple topics here, and each part of the book is divided by what's called a pranayama pause. And pranayama means it's a breath technique. And what I do is then just guide you through one of the very few kind of breathing techniques. So it's a way you read maybe a passage or two, or they're divided by each 10. And then there's a pause, a purposeful pause, to then just kind of reconnect with your breath. You don't have to be a yogi in order to read this. I think it applies to everybody. And it's really just something that I've been putting together actually for a long period of time, but never seriously wanted to put it together in a book form until the beginning of last year. It was my goal for 2023 to put it all together. So I was really excited to have it done. And it was approved on Casey's birthday, my son. So I was happy about that and have it done before Christmas time. So
Jenny, have you done some kind of research in writing this book about the philosophies and everything, the teaching?
Yes, I have been. I've been teaching yoga, I want to say 16, 17 years. And the way I've always approached my yoga practice is not simply in its physical form. It is obviously done in a physical form, but I also introduce a lot of yoga wisdom and philosophy. So I've done a lot of extensive research on it over the years.
Yeah, and also it really adds up that you have been teaching yoga for the last 2 decades, and Wow, that really is something else, Jenny. I
Well, I
never
think that the important part is that I graduated college with a degree in journalism. And the only time that I actually did do anything in journalism is working for you. So it's nice to actually take something that I'm so passionate about, which is yoga, and then really use my skills in a different form and then just put it in something that's more tangible. So
I like the color of the book, Jenny.
Oh, thank you. It's actually designed by a student of mine. She took a lot of my classes when I was teaching back in Illinois, and she attended one of my yoga retreats. And this is her design where she picked up pieces around the retreat center, like flowers and seeds, and she created this design. And then after the retreat, she framed this design as a gift to me to say thank you. So I knew that when I was thinking of a cover design, I wanted to reach out to her and say, I want that same picture that you gave me. So it has a lot of meaning to me.
I love it. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, Jenny, it's the beginning of the year, and so many people out there have many resolutions in exercising and dieting, etc. So, what can you tell them in going through yoga way in their exercises?
If they want to start with yoga, I'd say just first of all, make that commitment. I think we always say it's a new year and you put together your goals and your intentions and resolutions, but I think we put too much expectation upon them. But if you do want to practice yoga, I said just one step at a time. If you've never done it before, I highly suggest looking into that studio schedule to see if there's something like a beginner's level that you can ease into. But you have to stay connected to it or committed to it. You can't just go one time and think you're done. In order for you to get the full benefits of its practice, whether it be physically or even mentally, emotionally, I mean, it takes some dedication, but it's not going to be easy. Like riding a bike. You didn't know how to ride a bike when you first went on it. You probably knew the concept of it. Like people say, yeah, I've seen a down dog, but the more you practice, the more then, you learned your skill. And the same goes with yoga, but we're all built differently. So if you go in with the expectation of like wanting to do a handstand or arm balances, but your body is not at that level, or nor will it ever be, then you're disappointing yourself. It's really just going on your own pace, your own level, and just appreciating the journey that in the movement of your body, more importantly.
So, really, what, in simple words, what really separates yoga from other exercises?
I would have to say maybe because it's just you and a yoga mat. It's you and your body. That's it. There's no additional weights, although there are yoga practices that have weights. There are props involved with yoga for assistance, but they can also be added to your practice in order to emphasize it in a certain way. But I think what makes it different from everything else is that it's really just you and your yoga mat, and it's you move at your own pace, like I had said, and it has. Well, I would just say I don't want to. People tell me this. I'm not a runner. I always say you'll never see me running unless someone's chasing me. But runners will always say they have this runner's high, right? And I have to. And what I see it to be is kind of similar to yoga. There's going to be a moment where you feel like a yoga high. You feel good at the end of the class. You feel good. The beginning starts out slow, then it moves up to something peak and more intense, and then it goes down to where you're lying on your back at the very end, and that's called shavasana. So I think that what makes it very, very different is that you don't see that in like a spin class. You're just done with class and then you go home. Whereas at the end of the yoga practice, you take 5 to 10 minutes just to lie down and rest, to really let the energy of your practice soak in. And it calms your mind and it calms your body. So when you step off your mat, it makes you feel like a better person.
So does a person always have to meditate first?
No, no, not necessarily. In fact, like the tradition of yoga, yoga, the asana, the physical portion of it was done so you can sit longer for meditation. So that's traditionally how it's meant. But not all classes, especially nowadays, they don't offer meditation along with the practice itself, the physical practice of yoga. But meditating it's tough. It's probably just as hard as moving your body in yoga because your mind is constantly, it's meant to process and and have thoughts. So to slow that down like you do in meditation is very challenging to do. I would say meditation is probably harder than the practice of yoga, but they work well together. They work very well together.
Calm you down.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. Well, besides you, and also I would say beside you,
Literally. He's
is also another yoga instructor in the family, and that's your handsome husband, Donald.
yes, he is literally sitting next to me.
Hi to us,
Say hi.
Donald. Well, we will interview. We, we will for sure. We will interview Donald later on. Okay.
You should pull up some old footage of us, Tita Veronica. I mean, that was pretty funny back in the late '90s, early '90s.
Oh, for sure. I love
Yeah.
that way. All right. Okay. You guys just moved from California to Arizona, and that is before California. You were really long time Chicago residents.
Born and raised. Born and raised.
Grow up. I saw you grow up, and so, anyway, how are you liking Arizona nowadays?
We love it. We really do love it. It was nice to have a little transition into California. We literally lived the California dream. We were living in Venice Beach, and we can walk to the beach, and it was beautiful. But California, it's expensive and crowded, and we weren't quite sure that when during 2020 what our next steps would be after that. And when we visited Arizona, we figured this is probably a better step for us. And to be honest with you, when we sold our house in Lake Forest, Illinois, we said we're never buying a house again. We'll just rent and we'll live more minimally. And it's just Don and myself, so we can just live lighter. But when we moved to Arizona, it was actually during that high time of buying houses. So we ended up buying a house. And this particular house had multiple offers on it. And so it was pretty crazy, but we're happy here. It's perfect for us. It's beautiful. We live right by a mountain that we can hike, and actually two major mountains that we can just hike to. And we have a good active lifestyle. I'm telling you, it's great in the West Coast.
That's where you got your beautiful color now, Jenny.
Yeah. Yeah,
really, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, one last word about the book.
I'm sorry?
One last word about the book that you can say to our viewing audience.
Oh, one last word of the book. I mean, this has been my passion project. And like I said, it's something that I'm proud of because I always felt that I didn't really pursue what I graduated college with. I've had so many different careers and ways. And honestly, I owe a lot going all the way back when I first met you through my dad. And my dad was the one who encouraged me to meet with you and encouraged me to actually use my writing skills that he saw that I had talent in. And I was young. I think when I started working with you, I was like 16, 15, 16. Yeah, I was. Yeah. So it's nice this is my full circle book. And like I said, it's backed by where I am in my life and how I'm passionate about the practice of yoga. it's applicable to anybody. You don't have to know everything about the yoga practice, because there are a lot of topics in here, like just really how to best find balance in your life. And ultimately, every lesson is a growth lesson. And we're constantly growing, no matter how old you are or where you are in your lifetime. We all are dealing with so many things. And I think that what I put together here is a way to just help for guidance in that. And it's written where it's philosophy backed, but in a way that's so approachable for everybody to understand at any age, really. So I even told my nephew, who's 10, I'm like, are you going to read my book? Because I really think he'd like it. So
He said, yes.
it's available on Amazon.
All right.
Again, it's called The Yoga Within You. You'll find it there. It's currently right now in hardcover, and in a couple of months, it'll be available in paperback.
All right, Jenny. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for gracing our show today. And what I can tell you is you're just way ahead of me in publishing a book, because I was just thinking of writing a memoir.
Oh, you're kidding. I'll tell you this, Tita Veronica, when I was putting this whole book together, I have many memories of being in your apartment on was it Sheridan Road, and putting together, literally pasting the paper to create the newspaper, when we would spend late hours to do that. So it's come a long way. It's come a long way.
Computer days.
Yeah, right, exactly.
No computers.
Yeah, no computers. But we made it work then, and you're still making it work. So I'm glad that you're still in your business. So kudos to you.
Correct. So I'm still around here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jenny. And well, please keep us updated as to what's going on in your yoga world, and also with your book. And good luck once again. And thank you for gracing our show. At maraming salamat sa iyong, sa ating pag-interview.
You're welcome.
Sa inyong panonood. Ako po si Veronica. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, Jenny.
Bye.
This is a prayer and a reminder. All we have is now. Anak, umuwi ka na.
Worldwide this morning, growing concern over a growing health crisis.
The World Health Organization has just declared that this is a pandemic.
Hi. I can't hug you. Don't touch me.
Over the last several days, we have seen peaceful demonstrations.
Protests over police brutality continued here in Austin.
Remember when you started going to college? You came home a liberal?
Dad, please.
That's what we do to you guys in school.
All these people that we never met and never will meet because of what had happened to them. It's just too much.
The way that our family communicates is not necessarily, it's not great.
What advice would you give for those of us that are struggling?
Deal with it.
I think the norm for our community has been to stay silent and keep to your own business.
I could definitely be doing more than I'm doing right now, and I know that others can as well.
What if someone is called from God to be an activist?
I can answer that question.
Shouting revolution, oh wow, breaking each tradition.
You don't believe in the Black Lives Matter movement?
An advocacy group reporting at least 3,800 anti-Asian hate incidents since last March.
I'm kind of conflicted. I'm like, maybe I should move home and be here with them.
I hope that this moment makes you take a step forward and a step together in the right direction.
In order for a subject to not be taboo in our community, there always has to be someone to start that conversation.
Yeah. You speak up for me when I can't speak up for myself. And I've seen you do that for other people.
I see a lot of people who just kind of cut off friends and family, and I don't think I can do that. I love my parents. This is a symbol of our voices. If you look at your neighbors around you, you will see who stands with you, who stands for you.
at least I know that you can stand up. That's the thing I'm so happy about.
Do you need to get your hands on some extra money right now? Maybe $25,000 or more? If you're a homeowner, now is the perfect time to get cash out. While homes in many neighborhoods like yours have gone up in value, you can use the money for anything. It's yours. You can buy an investment property, pay for college, pay off higher interest debt, or make home improvements. A cash out refinance is the perfect solution to get the cash you need. If you need $25,000, $50,000, or even $100,000, now's the time. Home values are up, and so is your equity. We offer you a way to use it. No need to sell your home or use your savings. Call New American Funding now and speak to a cash out refi specialist and see how much cash out you can get.
Call New American Funding at 855-332-3929. That's 855-332-3929. Call 855-332-3929.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today, I have a very interesting, exciting, and dynamic woman in my show to be interviewing. Her name is, of course, many of you are very familiar with her name, Honorable Iris Martinez, Clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County. I'm so honored to welcome you to our show today. Clerk Martinez. Morning. And of course, you're here. First thing, you can greet our viewers. Merry Christmas afterwards. And first thing first, we have to ask you some important questions about your service to the community of Cook County. Okay, you have been in your office for the first term for the last 3 years. And so far, in looking back, what have you accomplished and treat as your most wonderful accomplishments in what you're doing for the Cook County residents?
Well, first and foremost, one of the things when I first got it, the first 3 years, you know that when I entered this office, they were under a federal monitor, Shackman decree. There was a lawsuit that had been filed to the previous administration. So I inherit the lawsuit. The lawsuit was based on the fact of, the way that the handling of hiring in this office. And so the federal monitor was here. One thing that I did do, roll up my sleeve the minute I got here and started working with the federal monitor and trying to make sure that whatever it is they were telling us that we needed to do the practice of hiring the correct way to hire under the federal laws was something that we were going to follow here to the fullest. And I can tell you that 18 months into the administration, first being here, we were actually dismissed from the lawsuit. The Judge Chang, said to me, Clerk Martinez, you should take the show on the road. That's the way elected should be working with the government and assuring that the public dollars that we are using, we're utilizing, and the resources that they are providing, that we're doing everything according to federal law, and that the hiring practices that were here prior stopped, and that a new way of hiring would be promoted into this office, which we have been doing. I can tell you that in the last 3 years, working, finally exiting, saving the tax dollars for the Cook County residents. That was my goal, was to make sure that we eliminated that cost of that court hearing, because that was millions of dollars. So we were able to save the courts and the city and the county of Cook dollars because of the fact that we dismissed that lawsuit. That lawsuit then helped me Now, 3 years later, we already have hired over 500 new employees into this office. And these are at least 400 plus of those jobs are all union jobs. And one thing that I did do is go to all communities out there, colleges, universities, non-for-profits, put the job postings out there to make sure that we were getting people from all the community. And so that's something that I take very, very seriously, because our Cook County employees have to look like the residents that we serve. And right now in this office, the diversity that I've created in this office is something that I am very proud of. One of the things too that we did was we opened up a call center. How many times did people call the courts, day after day, hour after hour, and we'll get nobody at the other end, or the phone will ring, ring, ring. We discovered there were many of those calls that were coming in. There was no equipment at the end of that telephone line. We made sure that we created a call center so all the calls can be filtered to one number, where right now we have 30 plus clerks who are answering these calls. I'm telling you, we've already been able to at least service over 100,000 people already since June of this year, as far as court action. So they call, our clerk is on the phone. If they do not speak English, there's over 200 languages that can be utilized from our system to be able to provide that translation with the clerk on the phone with that translator, to making sure that whatever they call for in their language, they were able to get the services they need. So that's a call center that right now I'm very proud of. The waiting period for any calls to come in is less than 1 minute. So we're taking these calls constantly, and we've already serviced, like I said, over 100,000 calls already have come into this office since we put that in play in June of this year. So that's something that I'm very proud of. Another thing too that we've been working on is making sure that anyone who did not have representation, there's many people that cannot afford attorneys. We opened up a self-litigant office where right now anyone that can come to this office at the 69 West Washington and get help to self-represent themselves. We have people there that are a clerk there, and people that provide the resources they need so they can be self-represent themselves in court the right way. That's something that I feel that I think is so important, because in today's world, people cannot afford attorneys, and people need to have their day in court and know that they can come to court and feel that they can represent themselves by the help of the courts, to make sure that that we're doing everything right, again, to provide those kind of services. Those are some of the things that I have been working on. Expungements, the backlog of expungements. We inherited about 5,500 applications that never processed. We're down to a few hundred. The same thing with the warrants, over 11,000 plus outstanding warrants still in the system. We've been able to bring that number down to less than 200. So we've been really busy just restructuring and putting all these different things that we found here wrong, right? So we're shipping, this ship is being, is seeing that sunlight at the end of the tunnel there. We're really working to bring transparency to this office as far as services. That technology could not be any better. We hire a team of people in technology there that today we can say that all across the whole entire county system, every area of law is online. So right now we have completely fully integrated from the old system into the new system with very little to hardly no glitches at all. It's a team that we assemble. Our website was redesigned in a way that we've won some awards, because saying to people out there that we won an award for the best redesigned government website. So I'm very proud of the work that the team, guys, I can't say it's me, is the team that I assemble here. Everybody committed to doing the work, and with their background and their expertise, we've been able to, again, do everything here, right from our budget to our, to our technology, to our legal, everything, and more important, our court services, that we've been able to really, put a good group of chiefs and assistant chiefs in all the courthouses and all the courtrooms to make sure that, that people have the information, that our folks are trained the right way so they can give the proper information out there, and that we can actually keep providing these services to all in whatever, whatever language, hopefully we can do to assist our Cook County residents.
Oh, amazing, amazing. How big is your team?
We have an office of about close to 1,400 employees. About 100 of them are the Shackman positions, and then we have middle management, which are people that they could only be dismissed for cause, and then you've got all your union. We got about 1,000 plus union employees that are under the collective bargaining agreement.
Okay, what is the positive impact of the call center for the communities that you serve? The new call center.
I think the impact that you're hearing is that people are now being able to access our office. That there is a number they can call, one number they can call, and somebody will take care of them. I think that the impact is that people find that access to this office has become easier, has become much more technology driven. Again, a call center where we have, and I don't know if you saw our call center, it has a board where it shows all the clerks, and when somebody finishes one call, there's another call waiting. It is a top-notch call center, and I think that impact that it has caused people out there is they're saying that access to justice, access to this office has become easier because of the technology that has been, and that the call center has actually helped people not have to come all the way down here to court when they can just do everything either online, or any courthouse will accept their whatever the filing may be. They don't have to go to a specific place to have to file. They can file from anywhere. And one of the things that I want to say is the order protection people that I have there. I've been really working on that. We even got extended hours incorporated because, like I said, when it comes to domestic violence, there is no time of the day when that can happen. And to me, having extended hours into the late hours of the night, having a judge on call to sign an order of protection, those are our parts of the things that we're doing, again, to make sure that victims have access at any given time to our courts, regardless of where they live.
Can you say that the success with what you're doing is just by keeping up with the advancement in technology? Is that the most important thing?
Absolutely. Our court system is run by technology. Our courts cannot function without the technology. That judge has got to be in that room with that system on, with a clerk right there, looking through everything, looking at the case in full, because again, that case is all online for that judge to see. And I think that that's very important because of the fact that, in today's world, everything is driven by technology. That's why, to me, having the very best at the top here and always continue to find the people that have those degrees, that have those background in technology is so important because of the advancements globally that's going on with technology. What scares me is the AI. There's a lot of things that technology right now is in the forefront, and we've got to be ready to continue to be innovative and be proactive when it comes to the new technology constantly coming out, and us making sure that we're understanding it and how we can incorporate it to make our system even user-friendlier than ever.
Okay, terrific. A person of ethnic background and a woman at that, what can you say to our, most of all, particularly to our viewing audience, and to reach the top of your position that what you're serving right now?
Well, let me just say, it hasn't been easy. Sometimes I'm punished because I'm too straightforward and too honest and open, and I don't hold nothing back. And I think sometimes, that is something that people either can like or dislike about me. But I really believe that over the 40 years that I've been in public service, I have developed a friendship with so many people out there. They understand me. I remember when I first got to the state Senate, where I think the other side of the aisle saw me speaking loud and saying, "Oh, she's angry." And I would say, "Oh, no. You don't want to see me angry. I'm just passionate about what I do." And I think that's something that people always laugh about me. But knowing that when it was time to be serious, and ask the uncomfortable questions, I did not hold back. I was actually labeled the pit bull of the Senate at one time. So again, people were afraid to come in front of me at a hearing because I asked the most uncomfortable questions, because those were the answers we needed, because nobody ever wants to be truthful and honest about numbers, about data. And that's something that I am very driven by, as far as making sure that we have a workforce across the whole entire state. When I was a senator, making sure that every state agency had a diversity. To me, diversity in all of these departments were important, because our state is very diversified, and we have to have people that look like us and at the same time are able to understand our culture, and sometimes educate people about how passionate we can be, but at the same time, sometimes also teaching that we have to fight for every crumb that's out there, especially people of color. We have to, and people like you and myself, that have to struggle in order to get, us to be heard. And so I've had to fight these fights on the front. I've had to fight the boys in the system, because there was not too many women at the time. Now there's much more. I'm happy to see such an even workforce out there, electeds of women and men, but it's not easy. They don't always agree with me, and when they don't agree with me, they attack me, but I don't care, because again, I am about the people. I am not about self-serving myself, for my purpose. My purpose is the people that I serve, the people who elected me. And so that's why I say, I will say what's on my mind, whether people like it or not. I'm always respectful of every ethnicity out there, because we have to. That's when we're going to be able to work together in a unified way, that we can have a neighborhood that strives, as opposed to having neighborhoods that there's racial tension constantly. So again, as an elected, you always got to be careful what you say. Sometimes, we can't always say what we're thinking. As elected, we got to always be careful of what we say, because there is too many people from all involved. And if we're not versed on the struggles of what's going on nationally, that I'm not going to make comments on something I am not familiar with. Other than the fact, I think, like everyone, all we want is world peace. All we want is peace between countries, because at the end of the day, the collateral damage are always the innocent people. And that, to me, is something that I always believe is is how I feel about when you look at things globally.
Okay, one last question. Can you please send a special Christmas message to our viewing audience regarding, of course, the beautiful Christmas that's coming, and also your commitment in your office in the office of the clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County?
Well, first and foremost, I want to just first say thank you to everyone out there for always being part of supporting me in the work that I do. I want to wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas, a very safe Christmas, and the best of the new year, 2024. This office is committed to continuing the work that we're doing, that we want to make sure that we will continue to provide the resources and whatever else we need to do to make sure that we are servicing our people of Cook County. Again, it's, we are living some really hard times right now. All I ask for people is to be very patient, be conscious of what we say out there in today's world, where, we're very sensitive around so many subjects. I want to see world peace. I think that's something that I think all of us want to see, peace in our communities. The gun violence, we have to continue to work together as a community to address all these issues so we can strive for a better 2024. But more important, the fact that this office is here, will always be here to service the people of Cook County. Merry Christmas and a happy 2024.
Thank you so much, Honorable Iris Martinez, Clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County. And peace and happiness to you. And thank you for gracing our show today. And until then, enjoy the Christmas season. Bye now. And
thank you.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood. Ako po si Veronica. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, Iris.
Bye. Thank you.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21-karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po.
Good afternoon, this is Brigitte Carino Cueter bringing you this week's local news from our community. With more than 14,000 migrants still living in one of more than 24 city-operated shelters in Chicago, only a fraction of all the asylum seekers who have arrived in Chicago over the past 16 months have received the permits they need to start looking for jobs. As of Monday morning, city officials said 14,717 asylum seekers were staying in the city's 27 shelters, and more than half of those are coming up on the city's 60-day limit for staying in shelters. Yet the amount of migrants actually able to work right now is minuscule compared to the number of asylum seekers who have arrived in Chicago. Starting Monday, electronic cigarette products will be banned inside public places in Illinois. Christina Hamilton of the American Lung Association said the association has been leading the charge to encourage states to expand their smoking bans to include e-cigarettes. A coalition of partners across Illinois have been working with the association for several years to prohibit vaping indoors, she said. But critics say e-cigarettes are a safer alternative for smokers who are trying to quit traditional cigarettes. The Illinois Department of Public Health said in a statement that banning indoor use of such products sends a strong message that e-cigarettes are not a safe alternative to smoking. Americans pay hundreds of dollars per year in taxes on their wireless family plan on their cell phones. The Tax Foundation research shows the average American household with 4 phones would pay about $300 per year in taxes on a family plan costing about $100 per month. Since 2012, the average charge from wireless providers decreased by 26%, from $47 per line per month to $34.56 per line, the report said. However, during this same time, wireless taxes, fees, and government surcharges increased from 17.2% to 24.5% of the average bill. According to the report, wireless phone customers paid about $12.6 billion in fees, government charges, and taxes to local and state governments alone this year. A decade of population declines is bad. But when Illinois' 2023 population drop and loss of residents to other states are examined, there is an even greater level of concern. Here are some ways the U.S. Census Bureau recently measured Illinois' poor ability to keep its residents. Illinois versus others. The state's number of people moving to other states and total population decline are among the worst in the nation. When comparing all 50 states' 2023 population change, Illinois, negative 32,826, ranks 48th, with only California, negative 75,423, and New York, negative 101,984, losing more people. Even when considering population size, Illinois ranks 47th in total population decline, with only Hawaii, Louisiana, and New York losing population faster. The Illinois Department of Healthcare and Family Services announced the approval of 11 applications to proceed towards certification in the supportive living program for dementia care settings. The supportive living program is a Medicaid alternative that offers services at a significantly lower cost than a nursing home and can successfully prevent or delay the need for nursing home care. The supportive living program operates through a home and community-based services waiver approved by the Federal Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. This allows Medicaid funds to pay for assisted living services for eligible Medicaid participants who might otherwise live in a nursing home. The supportive living program gives seniors and persons with physical disabilities a more independent lifestyle option by providing their own apartment, which includes a bathroom and kitchen/kitchenette. The Medicaid program pays for a portion or all the medical care and services for eligible supportive living program residents. Residents decide which program services they will receive and determine their own schedule. Services include meals, housekeeping, laundry, medication management, assistance with activities of daily living, social and health promotion activities, emergency call systems, well-being checks, and routine nursing assessments. Residents are responsible for paying for their housing/rent with Social Security or other personal income. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Brigitte. See you next time.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
It's more fun in the Philippines.
So